Hello, I'm Tylah Tully, and today I'm joined by Anson Resources Executive Chairman and CEO Bruce Richardson. Bruce, you recently completed a direct lithium extraction pilot program at the Green River Project in collaboration with Koch Technologies. Can you talk us through the recent results?
Sure. Koch Technologies is a very large company here in the United States, second largest privately owned company in America, and a significant player in the oil and gas business, as well as a lot of other chemical applications. So they've entered into this what we call direct lithium extraction about 2 years ago now, and we met with them around about December in 2023 and decided that we wanted to look at doing some test work on extracting the lithium from the brine that we have. And that took around about 7 months. We installed a small pilot plant there about August last year. We ran it through until end of February this year. Results just came in. We made an announcement about a week ago. And from that, you could see we had some very exciting results. The Coke was very impressed with the results that they and we achieved, around about 98% recovery of the lithium that's in the brine, which is important. 99% rejection of the impurities that are in it, and also what they call the lithium to TDS, so total dissolved solids ratio, which means overall it means the cost of production of extracting lithium and processing is lower than some other processes. Right, so all very good results, and we're very pleased with how that turned out. Makes us the most advanced project in Utah now, because getting those results was quite significant, and the approvals that we've managed to achieve over the past year or so, also indicating that the Green River project in Utah is looking very promising.
So, what is your long-term assessment of demand for domestic lithium production in the US?
Domestic production, as you would appreciate, over the past week, we've had some fairly major changes, and then a step back again with the tariffs. Domestic production here is something which is still early stage. Most of the lithium coming out of Western Australia, of course, as well as South America, through China, and under the Biden administration, that supply chain was broken, and the stages between lithium and battery have been performed in Korea and Japan, and then coming in the US. But there has been significant investment in the industry since Biden administration was in power. So around about $88 billion that we know of investment, mostly from Asian players, to develop the battery industry of the lithium-ion battery in the United States. And there's various aspects to that. That all then demands lithium as raw material, or lithium carbonate, or lithium hydroxide to go into those batteries. So the whole game has been thrown up in the air again, right? So with the tariffs and the encouragement by the Trump administration for extraction of lithium and processing of lithium and going into batteries here. So not just tariffs, but also on the other side of government support for developing those businesses. So very encouraging for us. We're in the right place at the right time, and given what's been happening over the past few years, actually, but even more so over the past few months.
I think you've just touched on it there, but how do you predict that these tariffs will affect the company going forward?
Yes, so tariffs, of course, provide a barrier for companies overseas. I've just recently been to a Asian battery seminar just this week in Korea, and there's a lot of concern there and some rethinking of strategies and that needs to take place and by the Asian producers who are the main producers of batteries in the world. So there is some significant change there. The actual amount of tariff on those sort of Korean, Japanese players was on, it's off again. We're not quite sure in 90 or 89 days what happens, but it seems that the push, of course, is towards domestic production. We've all heard what the President of the United States has said about that, and we think that's going to continue. Chinese, of course, being pushed out of the market provides opportunity for everybody. So how it all lands is still something that to be seen, but the overall trend is that domestic production of lithium, domestic production of batteries and vehicles is all going to be very important, having that done in the United States in the future, which, of course, is a very big opportunity of supplying into that industry and being a very successful project.
And finally, is there any news flow or milestones that investors should be looking out for?
There always is, right? So as this business keeps growing and developing, from the announcement we made this week, you'll see that we're talking about the polishing, the downstream step there of taking it to a purity level, which is suitable to going to a battery. Purity is important for electric vehicles because if there are contaminants in there, it can lead to the batteries heating, etc., which is not ideal. And the performance is affected by that heating. So it's very important we get to 99.5% purity. And we do that by polishing. That's removing all the contaminants that still remain in the lithium after it's been through the Koch process. And then the next steps after that are carbonation and removing all the water that remains in there, turning into a powder. So that's important that we complete those steps. But at the same time, we're working on offtake agreements. So we already have an offtake agreement with LG, one of the major battery producers that's working. It already has a plant in the United States. So we're have been working with them and continue to work with them. There's some other players that in the near term we expect that those negotiations will come to a conclusion. So that's important. Next milestone. We're still working, of course, on developing the resource. So we continue to look to re-entry programs to add on additional tons to our JORC resource. Funding on the other part of funding, apart from selling it, we also have to raise the money to build the plant. We have an offtake agreement. That's right. We have an agreement with the Exim Bank for a loan, an expression of interest that we received last September. We're working with them and turning that letter of interest into a loan agreement, and that requires additional work, providing the additional information, also related to how the Trump administration is changing the rules and the regulations, freeing up, getting rid of green tape, etc. All that feeds into the work that we're doing with Exim. So they're pretty significant milestones that we're looking to achieve over the next few months.
Bruce, thanks for your time today.
Thank you.